In today's video, we're going to focus on drawing bugs, creatures often overlooked but rich in artistic lessons. We'll concentrate on their diverse shapes and the fascinating textures they present. Bugs, like grasshoppers, beetles, or butterflies, are more than just insects. They're a collection of geometric patterns, organic forms, and intricate details. As we sketch, pay attention to the curves of their bodies, the jagged lines of their legs, and the unique patterns on their wings. Our aim here is to capture these elements with our ballpoint pens or pencils, whatever you choose to draw with, but exploring how simple lines and shading can bring out the roughness of an exoskeleton or the delicacy of a wing. So let's start this artistic exploration, finding beauty and complexity in the small, often unnoticed world of bugs, specifically grasshoppers. Grasshoppers are great for learning about form and texture due to their distinct body parts. As you can see, I'm beginning with the overall shape of the grasshopper. Look at how its body is segmented. The head, thorax, abdomen. I sketch these parts with gentle, broad strokes. It's like piecing together a puzzle, starting with the outline and filling in as we go. Now let's zoom in on those smaller shapes. Notice the long, thin legs, especially the hind legs that are designed for jumping, or the smaller shapes that make up the shadows and textures inside the exoskeleton. Observe how the light falls on the grasshopper, creating shadows and highlights. These shadows and shapes help us define the form, adding depth to our drawing. As I add these details, I'm also paying attention to the texture. The grasshopper's body isn't smooth. It's covered with tiny bumps and ridges. With my pen, I create small lines and dots to mimic this texture. It's about capturing the overall essence of the grasshopper, making it leap off the page in its own unique way. Remember, there's no rush. Take your time to observe and translate what you see onto the page. Each line, each shadow brings your grasshopper to life. Now, as you're drawing along, remember that your sketchbook is a safe space for experimentation and learning. Embrace every line, whether it feels right or not. Each mark you make, even the ones that seem like mistakes, is a step towards improving your skills. It's all part of the creative process of drawing. I like to think of lines as all discovery lines. Every line you make is helping you find the form of what you're drawing on the page. And working with a ballpoint pen can be incredibly rewarding, especially when it comes to adding texture and detail. Here are a few tips to make the most of using a ballpoint pen. I always recommend using a ballpoint pen because it makes you commit to a drawing without the need to ever erase. First is varying pressure. By simply adjusting the pressure on the pen, you can create a range of tones. Light pressure gives you fine, delicate lines, perfect for subtle textures or faint shadows. And then pressing harder can create bold, dark lines, ideal for defining shapes or deep shadows. And when it comes to the world of pens, a classic ballpoint pen is really sensitive to how much pressure you put on it, which is why I like drawing with it. Second is cross-hatching. This is a really common technique, and it's really great for building up texture and depth. By drawing sets of parallel lines and then crossing them with another set, you can create the illusion of shadow and form. It's particularly effective for the rough textures on a grasshopper. Layering. Don't be afraid to go over an area multiple times to build up the darkness of a texture, or to keep adding those discovery lines to find a shape or form. The more layers you add, the richer the texture, and I personally think the more interesting the drawing becomes. Fourth, embracing imperfections. If your line doesn't go exactly where you intended, don't sweat it. Those unexpected marks can add character to your drawing. It's what makes drawing, showing all the imperfections and, like I said before, discovery lines. Sometimes the best features come from what we initially perceived as errors in our drawing. The goal here isn't perfection, it's exploration and enjoyment when you draw. Each drawing you create, each line you draw is a reflection of your unique perspective as an artist. So Keep exploring, keep experimenting, and most importantly, keep enjoying every moment you spend with your sketchbook. I hope you've started to see your sketchbook as a boundless playground for creativity and exploration. There are no rules here, whether it's drawing bugs, landscapes, abstract shapes, or anything in between. Each page is a new adventure, a new opportunity to express yourself and grow as an artist. So stay tuned for my next video, where I'll dive into another interesting way to fill your sketchbook. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up, and if you want to see more, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.